What's up, dude? Do you have There we go.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm really excited, man, actually.
Oh yeah,
I,
same
I was
here.
pretty nervous, but no, I'm really kind of excited. I have some
Yeah.
questions for you. I've been following your Instagram page. Well, I follow two, for sure, like the one, like the main one, and then the Performance Plus, I think.
The Training
Yeah,
Productions one?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, some
I,
longer form stuff goes on that one. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. More like the rage stuff that I kind of like and that I try to follow.
Yeah.
A
The
lot of
what stuff?
the tough stuff that I
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
the 5 minute shit going on and pulses and shit, crazy shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fun
dude. So
questions.
we can roll into whatever it is that you wanna get into, and let's go.
Just a bit of context. I play tennis professionally.
Nice.
I'm I'm like 1700, 1600 right now in the world. Um, but it's a pretty weird format for me to compete because it's all pretty individual. I pretty much make my own schedule. Usually, I live in Tijuana right now, super
Where's
close to
that?
the border of San Diego.
Okay.
So I was always in high school in San Diego. I went to college in California. I'm just Mexican. My family it's 100% Mexican, and there's like a really good amount of tournaments over here in Mexico, which first of all makes it cheaper, and it's just everything closer to like one airport. Like I just need to have like one flight that it's from Tijuana to wherever or something else instead of going to Europe, which yeah, it's full of tournaments, but you need to take a flight from Spain to Portugal. Then from Portugal, you go to France, and you're moving a lot
Hmm.
compared to Mexico, that you're just staying in one country. And obviously, being Mexican, it's like I feel more comfortable over here. But with the schedule that goes on, which makes it pretty much like, hey, I'm out competing 4 weeks in a row. There's 4 weeks of competition. I don't mind the competition. The competition's perfect. The thing that's always tough for me, it's that I'm also on the shorter side of a tennis player. I'm like 5'7", 5'8". I'm currently like 142 pounds, 143 pounds in a good day. But it's always been like,
That extra pound on a good day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hopefully the water weight that morning's helping or
Yeah.
something. Um, but it's always been like, okay, you can definitely make it and you can make a living off of playing professional tennis with my height. The thing is, I need to have the weight. It's always felt like a disadvantage in a bit of a. It's not really a concern because I'm not really thinking of that, obviously, and I've always played like that. I've always been on the thinner side, but at the same time, there's a few occasions specifically that come up to my head that I can just name as examples of, this match. I'm pretty sure that just by being like a bit more powerful, I could have taken it for a bit longer and win the match.
Hmm.
Because at some point, let's just say I run out of fuel for whatever reason. It can be dehydration, it can be just mental stress or whatever. But during the competition, I always feel that there's something else that I could probably be doing as of strength training, conditioning, but I never really know what's the right thing to do before a match. Or like, hey, this is saying I qualified for the tournament, so I needed to play Sunday and Monday. Obviously tough matches. And then a real example would be that I may get the rest day on Tuesday, or I may not, and I just play right away on Tuesday. I don't really know what to do most of the times in between my matches without feeling that there's like a burnout or without feeling that it's affecting my recovery, because I'm obviously at the same time playing, and it's a really physical match. It's like I'm
Hmm.
going for like total of a lot of miles, peaking in speed, not a lot of rest time. It's always like if I have the chest monitor and shit, I get up to like 190, 190 something most of the times for like a constant amount of time. And it's just so tough to like come down because it's like 20-second break and then play another point and 20-second break and play another
Yeah,
point.
I messed with tennis a little bit in like 2023.
That's just like it's a rough example, but as soon as you start the match, there's not really like a determined break that you're gonna get. So like
Hmm.
in between a game, in between points, sorry, it's only 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And when you're playing with the ref, he can be an asshole about it. Like that's one of the reasons that they're there, because like they don't want you to go for too long, but at the same time, it's like you can take your 20 seconds. But as soon as you're tired, let's just say in the middle of the match, those 20 seconds feel like fucking 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously, when I'm training and there's no stress, everything is easy. But as soon as I'm competing and everything adds up, I truly feel that there's something else that I could be doing in a smart way. Because I know that this fucking professional players in the top 20, they're 100% working out when they're in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm really don't, I'm just doing mobility to make sure that I'm not fucking tight and no cramping or whatever. But I
Yeah.
never really know.
What's your question? Like what to do?
I don't know if what to do is too general, because for sure I know that there's no magic pill.
Right.
And the more I think of it, the more I'm like, okay, I need to start doing like a little bit more running, because I feel like there's a few moments in matches that I feel like I need more legs and that I need to like have more fuel. But at the same time, I've tried it 100%, and I don't feel that I've really done it in a correct way. And I know that there's maybe not like, oh, this is like the best thing you need to be doing right now. But at the same time, I don't, because I know for sure that I've spent enough time with like a conditioning coach and like a physical trainer that can like work me out with weights and shit. But I don't think that I've done the best for my body, let's just say.
Okay. Wait, so what are the physical training and what are they doing?
So I feel like whenever I do like only, for like example, like stupid, well, I don't want to say stupid because everything has a place. But if I'm just going on a back squat for like a bunch of reps, high volume, I'm gonna be fucked up on the legs. But I also know that I need to have like a specific amount of stimulus, but I don't want to go for too little, which is what I feel that I've been doing, just for the fact that I know that I'm also in a really like line that I don't want to cross, because I also don't want to overdo it, because as soon as I overdo it, there's not really going back. I need like a bunch of time, which means probably like a match that is going to be an L, and I would like to limit those.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah.
like to know more like, what do you think and how I could approach uh specifically during competition, what I need to be working out as a strength training, conditioning training before a match, when I have some time available to rest my body.
Yeah, that's a good question. So let me ask this: do you have periods of time where what's your longest period of time off over the course of a year? Are you playing year round?
I'm playing year round, but like as of right now, I just came back home like this week. It's been like 6 or 7 days.
Okay, so what's the longest period that you have in between matches?
Never more. Like this is probably gonna be the longest of this year, and it's gonna be 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Okay.
Now it's only 3 or 2, like 2.5, like 20 something days.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
sure.
like last week of April I compete again, 2 tournaments in a row.
Okay. Yeah. So what I would look at doing then is, because right now you have some time off. If you're in the middle of a tournament or something like that, I wouldn't necessarily say change anything. But what I would do is during one of the periods of time where you have the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks off in a row, I would start to introduce a little bit more intense training. Again, like it's kind of my version of the intense training, I guess, is
Yeah,
what I'm
of course,
thinking.
of course.
But like introduce that at a period of time where you could, like, obviously you're still probably training and doing your actual tennis skill work every single day, right? Because that is still the most important thing. But in
100%.
terms of what I'm hearing is like the issue that you're having is a lot of times you feel gassed in a match, gassed to the point where it negatively affects you. And with tennis, I don't know if it really ever gets to a point where that doesn't happen, because I think even in the absolute best players in the world, they're going to be gassed at some point.
100%.
Right.
100%.
So it's, it's not that you're going to be just like fucking, you don't feel anything the whole time, but it sounds like that's the biggest issue that you're having. And you feel like your preparation isn't leading you up into being ready for that. And so that's why I'm saying what I would do is I would take a time where you come home, like right now, start to introduce some more of what you feel like you need. And so for me, I mean, I don't necessarily think like jogging and running. This is my personal thing, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Because even again, like I went and played tennis for like 3 months, and I mean
I see your serve, bro. You serve good.
Yeah, thank you. Well, at the start, there's no spin. I had trouble with the spin, but it came off pretty well. But as far as like conditioning and getting tired, like I didn't necessarily get tired, but I didn't really do any running to prepare for it. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm saying is like, my thought with the condition is we want it to be something that is maximal, but that doesn't actually like necessarily make you sore or fatigued. Because for me, jogging or sprints at 70% or whatever, those things are things where your body is actually not operating at a maximal capacity. And so that's going to actually create more fatigue. And it's actually going to cause your or train your system to essentially be inefficient because you're allowing it because it's such low intensity.
I've actually experienced that not necessarily like an injury, but if I go and play tennis on like a high intense level, even if it's for like 3 hours, 4 hours, as long as I have like some food and like I'm feeling myself, I can keep going 100% and I'm good to go. But then if I go on the treadmill and I try to do like sprints, my calves are burning in a bad way. Yeah. Like I feel like I'm cramping, or I feel like there's like something going on. Whereas in a court, which is supposed to be like a rougher surface or whatever, and I'm like stomping and I'm like sliding and opening up like the legs and like really weird angles, I'm never really sore. And that's also,
well, you're engaged with it, right? You're actually maximally putting everything that you have into what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is like, what I would look at adding more into is more of that type of stuff, but not necessarily on the tennis court. So that could be something like the depth drops, I think would be really good. Doing high volumes of depth drops. The slow lowers or iso holds, they're different things, but you could do either one of those. I'd probably do like slow lowers in bottom positions for very long periods of time. Let's say like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, maybe 3 minutes with added weight, 5 minutes with added weight. Like those things, because those are things that you can push that are extremely, extremely, extremely simple, and you can build a lot of capacity there without them just like tearing up your body and tearing up like
taxing it, right?
Yeah, like you're not necessarily going to feel worse when you get done with those. In most cases, you feel better.
When do you think, or when would you say, like, because I usually play two types of tournaments. It's either one that actually gives me the professional points, which is pretty much when I'm playing on the ATP based on my ranking. It's the lowest level of tournaments pretty much that I'm competing for the same amounts that I would win if I play Wimbledon, for example, like the typical tournament. Mm-hmm. If I play a futures, I'm usually not a straight direct entrance, as in I have to qualify, which means playing extra matches, which means if you lose in qualifying, you don't win any fucking money. You pay an extra week of hotels and you do nothing for the rest of the week. Mm-hmm. So you would either, that's like the average for me right now. I'm always going to be like super close to getting in, but getting in like 50, 40% of the times, mostly. But I mean, usually it's qualifying Sunday, play on Monday again if you win. And usually they don't really give you, like, the first round is divided on Tuesday and Wednesday. Usually they do a really good job of, you're playing singles on Tuesday, so you play first round of doubles on Wednesday. Doubles doesn't really get you tired at all. It's really like super quick and it just like goes pretty quickly. But even then, it's just like time spent on court, time that you're serving, time that you can like hurt your shoulder, for some example that is super specific. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It's like when I truly think of what's been a problem, it's I gas out, especially on the legs. I play a physical game. I'm obviously on the shorter side. I have to fucking dig in, bring my inner demons, get to some shit that nobody expects that I'm gonna get, and play my game loose as heck. But at the same time, I have to have more legs than these guys. Mm-hmm. And I usually don't. Like I do in the beginning, and I'm good to go on like sprints and recover and whatever. But at some point, I feel like it's just not there.
Yeah. No, and that's where I think the slow lowers could be beneficial, because there is a real. I'll give you my reality on it. So at the start, I would do, like, maybe let's say 3 or 4 years ago, I would do a lot of iso holds where I would just get in the bottom position. I would hold as long as I can until I basically fatigued out and failed. Right. Then I kind of got some new data. I'm like, okay, this is what I call slow lowers, where it's like you actually learn how to use your body more efficiently. You learn how to pull yourself into position, and it allows you to not fatigue out as quickly. Or if you do it well, like you don't actually fatigue because you can just continue to pull into position. Right. And so what that's done for me is like greatly increase my actual capacity, because my body's actually physically working differently. Like if you think about, if we just make it super simple and we think about, you have a hamstring, you have a quad, right? And both of those act on the knee. One of them straightens it, and one of them bends it or flexes it, right?
Yeah.
If those two things are fighting against each other, that's going to just like vacuum world here. That's going to cause more fatigue. If those things are coordinated well, and your hamstring actually shortens when the quad lengthens and the opposite happens, that's going to be there's going to be less friction, and there's going to be less energy that's required in order to do that. And so you're actually going to be able to go for longer, and you're going to be more efficient when you're going, right?
And that doesn't get you fucking tired?
What, the slow lowers?
Yeah, how?
No,
like,
because okay, so the base objective of a slow lower is at the end you can press up as if you didn't just do it. If you fatigue out, then you actually didn't do the slow lower well.
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
So you should actually be able to feel better when you're done than when you start, because what can happen is, like, you can think about fatigue or being tired as you have, again, if you go back to our quad and hamstring example, like you have both of them just sitting in the middle. They're not really fully lengthened. They're not fully shortened. They're just kind of like half on, half off. Muscles can't go off, but they're like half lengthened, half shortened. So they're just kind of like sitting in the middle, and you can't really like get it to either side. What the maximal engagement, or let's say like the slow lower can do, or even joint moves, they'll allow those to get back to like full length in each direction. And so that actually leads to there being less fatigue, because I think about like a fatigued muscle or a tight muscle is literally one that's chronically contracted. And so if you can get that to not be chronically contracted and actually be able to lengthen and shorten, now you've recovered that muscle. And if we can go more into that, like there's also emotions and there's other things that are attached to those, where it's like it takes a certain level of emotion for you to break through. Let's say you had a game where you didn't perform well, and that's like you can't stop thinking about that game. You have some emotion that's attached to that game. If you take yourself into the slow lower and your muscles are chronically contracted, and you're also mentally just like, I can't fucking get over that, whatever. And then you ask yourself to do this slow lower, which is extremely hard because your body's like tight and sore and doesn't feel great, but you are able to break through that and also like mentally engage in that thing. That also helps you break that attachment to that thing that you have from that previous
That's time. Fucking insane, bro. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, so that's where, because you asked if it makes you tired, and a lot of times if you're tired, it will actually re-energize you if we do it all, because then it resets that system to be able to go like at full length in each direction.
Would you say that's like a fucking good warm up before the match or something? For like, obviously not maybe for like 5 minutes, but do you think it's like a good stimulus that if you find the proper amount of intensity for it, it would be a good way to prep?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's interesting because, like, for myself personally, if I'm going to do them, I'm going to do them in full, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because doing a slow lower with the thought of like, well, this could fatigue me out, then that by design basically like means that you're not.
Yeah, it's gonna be easy.
Yeah, right. And so that's not necessarily the point. Like for warm-ups, basically what I say for warm-ups is like whatever you feel like you need to do to just get yourself, I don't know, to get yourself sweating, get yourself feeling good, and get yourself going. I don't, because I kind of separate training from a warm-up. Like a warm-up is you get your blood going, you get feeling good. Training is we're causing some type of physical adaptation change.
For sure.
Right. So like a training isn't something that we're going to do habitually every day. We're training to make some change
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just like 100%. Thing that cycles through. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense, man.
But so in your scenario, that's what I would say, because I'm trying to kind of get a grasp on where you're at and what you're looking for. It'd be like during this period of time, or during a period of time where we have a week or 2 or 3 weeks off, be able to start to introduce some of that. So it's not just completely new to your system when you're actually in a tournament, right?
Yeah.
And then when you get into the tournament, you could use these types of things like in between your games to help to reset that system a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna fucking buy it. I'll take a look, because I definitely know that I need something more structured. Usually structure means, honestly, exactly what you said, like a couple of weeks. But that's usually my problem. Usually the problem is that, I don't need it for like 8-week program. I need to know what to do 2 weeks to prep my body for like 100% of its ability while also being recovered.
Mm-hmm.
Which is tough because, especially me, I have like a lot of fucking anxiety. I need to move all day. I feel like I hate it when I don't do anything. And
I mean, that's also something that it would help to address that, to where, because that's also like wasted energy, because being able to just like sit and be somewhere, like if I'm sitting here in the chair And I'm just like, and I tell you, like, sit in the chair. That's
Yeah.
it, right? Just sit in the chair. If there's a bunch of other things going on, that is actually inefficiency in terms of energy.
Yeah.
Right. So this may sound dumb as hell, but train yourself to sit in a chair and do nothing besides sit in a chair or stand and look at a wall, or like
Yeah.
again,
It's some discipline shit, for
it
sure.
It's like, bro, what are you talking about? But it's a very fundamental thing of like, just be there and don't, like, that's it.
Yeah.
And because that then means that there's not a bunch of other things going on in other different places that are pulling energy from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So that could be a very fundamental thing to work on for you as well. Like,
yeah, to mentally stay there.
Yeah,
because
well,
I know
it's
not
even
gonna be
just
more
mentally,
than
just like everything. Like, just be. It's just
Yeah.
very simple. Like, just be there.
yeah. Stay in the position. Don't move. Just be there. Enjoy the pain. Be
What'd you
glad
say?
about it. Enjoy the pain. Be
Well,
glad
no,
about
but
it.
why would there be pain if you're just sitting there?
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm taking it as the example of doing it as in just stay in a position of a slow lower.
Yeah, but I'm saying you could literally, to make it even more simple, because with all the like mental, if there's a bunch of stuff that's going on here, right? Not even
Yeah.
just, I'm right now, I'm not even talking on the solo. I mean, like, literally sit on a chair and
Okay.
just sit
Yeah.
on a chair. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because then now if we go into and do a slow lower, now you can actually be in the slow lower versus being somewhere else.
For sure. Yeah, I get it. It makes a lot of sense. That's honestly all I needed, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. I'll give it a look. I'll give it a try.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, there's nothing else to do. It was just good.
Sounds good, man. That's it.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I really appreciate it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, bro. Have a good one.
You too, man. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.